I have a fiddle. You thought your new earpods broke. Yeah, it was as soon as I went to what was I doing?
Or from the testimony about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God.
I was going to show you a
You'll be seated right over there if you would.
video. Don't know what happened there.
Mr. Brown, you can proceed when you're ready.
It's Mr. Claver. Sorry.
Okay, all right. Go ahead, Mr. Claver. Sorry about that. State may proceed.
Could you state your name, please?
Matthew William Simpson,
And who is your employer?
Powashik County Sheriff's Office.
What do you do for the sheriff's office?
I'm a patrol deputy
And how long have you held that position?
since 2009.
Can you describe your training and experience as it pertains to your employment?
Graduated from the Iowa Law Enforcement Academy in 1999 with previous employment before getting hired by Powashik County, and then multiple continuing training.
Do you have other law enforcement experience
Yes, I do. I had 10 years with Henry County Sheriff's Office.
as a deputy?
Yes,
Are you a certified peace officer in the state of Iowa?
I am.
Deputy Simpson, what do your duties entail with the Powashik County Sheriff's Office?
Duties are general patrol, investigations, and I also help with the sex offender registry.
And were you on duty on July 19th, 2018?
I was.
And what shift were you working that day?
I do the night shift. It's 4 p.m. to 4 a.m.
And did you receive a missing person call when you were working that shift?
I did.
And can you describe that call for me?
I was called to the house of Blake Jack. I believe it was 622 West Des Moines Street in Brooklyn, Iowa, for a missing person.
And do you recall the approximate time that that report came in?
I believe it's 5:56 p.m.
Is Brooklyn in Powashik County?
It is.
And did you respond to that call?
I did.
And who was on the scene when you first arrived?
Blake Jack and I believe his girlfriend Allie, along with a couple other people that weren't identified.
Do you recall the approximate time that you arrived at the residence?
I don't recall approximate time.
And do you know who was living at 622 West Des Moines Street at that time?
It was Blake Jack, his girlfriend Allie, and Blake's brother Dalton. And I believe Mollie Tibbetts had been staying there as well.
And who was identified as missing?
Mollie Tibbetts.
When was the last reported communication that anybody had with Mollie?
I believe I talked to her mom, Laura Calderwood, and she had a conversation with her the previous night at 5:30 for a conversation about having supper. I believe that was the 18th.
And did you go inside the residence?
I did.
What did you observe in the residence?
A normal farmhouse where 4 20-something, two couples were living. It wasn't unkept, but it was, dishes in the sink, just a typical teenager house.
Did you find Mollie Tibbetts at the residence?
I did not.
Did you see any sign of a struggle?
I did not.
Were there dogs at the house?
They had dogs that were pinned up in the basement.
And did you go to the basement to investigate?
I did.
What did you see when you were there?
I found the dogs pinned into a room. There was some dog poop on the floor. Blake had told me that was common. The dogs were pinned up if anybody was out of the home. If somebody was in the home, they'd be let free.
Anything else of note that you discovered in the house?
I don't believe so. I looked in her room where she stayed with Dalton when they were home. There was nothing of consequences in the house. They advised me the doors were usually left unlocked. We did find a freshly delivered package at the front door. I believe it was FedEx that dropped that off, and there was one by the side door, by the garage, that was delivered by the post office.
Did you seize any evidence?
I don't believe so at that time.
Was anything noted as missing from 622 West Des Moines Street?
I don't believe so.
And did you go anywhere else to further your investigation aside from 622 West Des Moines Street?
I went to the home of Laura Calderwood, where Mollie had also stayed.
What's the address there?
I believe it's 114 Bear Creek Drive.
In Brooklyn?
It is in Brooklyn.
And was anything noted as missing from that residence?
Laura recalled that her running shoes and earbuds were missing.
Did you do anything else to attempt to locate Mollie on July 19th?
I had dispatch ping her cell phone number. I was advised later that it was either off or in a roam state. I'd contacted my sheriff and also later contacted our investigator, Steve Kivy.
Did anyone report having seen Mollie on July 18th, 2018?
I was advised, I believe it was Blake that stated one of the neighbors had seen her on the 18th. And I later spoke with that neighbor, Nate Hopwood, about seeing her the day prior.
What was Mollie reported to have been doing?
Running past the residential area.
And that was on July 18th?
Yes.
How long were you in Brooklyn during your investigation?
I believe probably a couple hours. I'm not sure on specific time.
Did you ever contact Deputy Steve Kivy?
I did.
And who is he?
He's the investigator for the Poweshiek County Sheriff's Office.
Did you have any other involvement in this case after you conducted the initial investigation?
I did not.
And why is that?
The following day, I was leaving on vacation, so I was out of the area for an extended period of time, and then my duties didn't bring me back into the case.
Thank you, Deputy. I have no further questions for you.
Thank you, Mr. Claver. Defense may cross-examine.
So, sir, you received this call, and it's probably not unusual to receive a call that someone's can't be located. Is that right?
Correct.
Typically, it doesn't end up like this, and it ends up that it's closed fairly quickly. Is that right?
Correct.
Here, you respond and you go directly to the 622 Des Moines Street house. Is that right?
That's right.
When you get there, describe what you see.
A house sitting back from the roadway. There was, I would guess, 6 people there other than Blake Jack and his girlfriend at the time, Allie. There was starting to be a little bit of a commotion because they're worried about their friend.
So these people, and they're not disorderly, but they're worried and frantic. Is that right?
Correct.
So your job, first of all, is to kind of make everybody calm and to deal with what is a high conflict and emotional situation. Is that right?
Correct.
Was there anybody that was sort of a lead person that you talked with?
At that point, it was Blake. He was home at the time.
All right. And Blake conveyed the information of what was going on. Is that right?
Correct.
When's the first time that you spoke with Dalton Jack?
It had been later that evening.
So he was not home yet. Is that right?
Correct. I was advised he was in Dubuque driving home.
Describe your first contact with Dalton Jack.
Normal for somebody that, boyfriend finds out his girlfriend's missing. He's concerned.
Was he crying?
I don't recall.
Was he talkative?
I don't recall.
Did he tell you when he last spoke with Mollie?
I believe he said he'd gotten a Snapchat.
What time was that Snapchat at?
He'd opened it at 10:30 the night before.
Did he tell you when the last time that he spoke with her via text message?
I don't recall text message.
No further questions. Thank you.
Mr. Claver, anything of this witness?
No questions, Your Honor.
Go ahead. Thank you for being here. You're excused.
Thank you.
Members of the jury, we'll take our lunch recess at this time. Before we do so, I want to remind you of your admonition. Make sure you're not discussing